Is perfectionism keeping you from having a wardrobe you love wearing? I know a thing or two about that, so let's chat. Hello, I'm Kristen from Kristen Cain Style. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. I am a style and mindset coach, and that means that I can help you create a wardrobe you absolutely adore wearing. And I do that by helping with the style stuff, sure, and also by helping you see how your thoughts and your feelings about all things getting dressed are getting in the way and are preventing you from having a wardrobe that really lights you up and that supports the life that you actually live, a wardrobe that is fabulous and functional. You can do all the clothing work, but if you don't do the mindset work, you don't get the results you want. So that's where I come in. I am really good at helping you see how your thoughts are affecting your clothing and your style, and how by shifting your thoughts, once you can see the limiting beliefs that are holding you back, by shifting those thoughts and by making some changes in your closet and your wardrobe and your maybe buying habits and the way you put pieces together, you can end up feeling and looking amazing every single time you get dressed. If you'd like my help with that, style therapy is how I work one-on-one with clients. There is a link down below. I offer a free consult call if you would like more information. If you're not quite ready to book, but you think that it could be a good fit, let's hop on a call and see. I would love to help. Okay, today I'm going to talk about two of my very favorite topics mixed together, and they are perfectionism and style. And this is something, this idea of how being a perfectionist can play out in your wardrobe is something that I have been working with in my own wardrobe for the last decade probably, and with clients for the last several years. And so I have addressed it here before. Once I realized that I was a perfectionist, which was only about 3 or 4 years ago, I started to see how it shows up in all areas of my life. And specifically, I started to pay more attention to how it shows up in my wardrobe, and that then led me to help clients realize how it's showing up in their wardrobe. So I have done other videos on this. I will link those. And I keep getting questions and feedback and comments and requests to kind of go deeper and to address the perfectionism idea with regards to style a little bit further. So today I'm going to do that. And I did not re-watch the old videos, so I don't know if my thoughts and feelings are the same about it, if I'll say the same things again. I really just kind of did the research for this video as a standalone, and my guess is that some of the things I will say are similar, and it has been a while since I made those other videos, and so possibly my own perfectionist journey has taken me to a place where I will explain things differently or see things differently. So I'm just gonna go into it, like I said, without researching what I said before, and hopefully this builds on it. So I'm going to start by reading something that was written into me by a viewer, and I'm just picking this one, but I have heard this same idea from many, many women, so I figured it was time to do this video. So I wish you would talk more about your perfectionism journey. I think that I am the same and learned so much from hearing about your experiences. Your video on perfectionism and clothing was like angels singing to me. So I appreciate that, and I get it, because once I started to understand what perfectionism actually is, which is not being perfect or striving to be perfect, it is actually the shame of not being perfect and doing everything you possibly can to not show up imperfectly. And so because there's this fear and shame around getting it wrong, and I really did not see that for so long. For most of my adult life, I had no idea that all of these perfectionistic tendencies were at play on a daily basis, not only in my wardrobe and my style, but in every area of my life. And it's one of those beautiful things that once you see it, you can't unsee it. And so it just keeps getting kind of peeled back and unearthed, and you can begin to actually change it once you have awareness of it. So this angel singing with regards to perfectionism and clothing, I totally get, because I feel the same way. So I'm going to first run through kind of 6 ways that perfectionism can be showing up in your wardrobe, 6 kind of perfectionistic tendencies, if you will, that might be tripping you up when it comes to really loving getting dressed and having it be easy and effortless to have great style. I want to give a shout out to Sam Laura Brown. Sam Laura Brown is the founder of a group coaching program that I am a member of called Perfectionist Getting Shit Done, PGSD for short. She has changed my life. If you are someone who feels like they see themselves in some of these perfectionistic things that I talk about, and you are a business owner, because the coaching program is for business owners, and you feel like you could benefit from some support specifically around the perfectionism, check out Sam's program, PGSD, Perfectionist Getting Shit Done. She also has a podcast that is called The Perfectionism Project. She's on Instagram. She is the mom of 3 little kids who are under 2 or just about under 2. She has twin boys who were just born in the winter, and she has a 2-year-old daughter, and she is a busy woman, and she has learned how to make her perfectionism tendencies work for her. And so if that is something you are interested in, I will link down below to Sam. You should check her out because she is game-changing. So I have learned a lot of what I've learned about perfectionism from Sam. So now I want to go through 6 perfectionistic tendencies that might be showing up with regards to your style, and also with regards to your style self-trust. I have talked on here numerous times about style self-trust, and that is just really trusting yourself when it comes to your style. And so perfectionism kind of sabotages that idea that you can trust yourself when it comes to your style, because if you're so worried about not showing up perfectly, and there is shame about not being perfect when it comes to your clothing and your wardrobe and your style, then you hold back. So I'm going to talk about these 6 things, and then I'm going to give you some kind of what to do. And the what to do's today are pretty straightforward. I'm not holding back because I know that taking action before you're ready, in spite of feeling terrified and sure that you're not going to get it right, taking action then is the only way to get to the other side and break free of the perfectionism and build the style self-trust. So the first way that perfectionism might be showing up in your wardrobe is as all or nothing thinking. And so this one is one of the perfectionistic tendencies that shows up most for me in all areas of my life. This is the idea that if you can't do it 100% perfectly to the best of your ability, all in, give it 100% effort, you're not going to do anything at all. And so in this case, if you can't wear all Chanel or all the designer of your choice, then you're just going to shop at Walmart. And not that there's anything wrong with shopping at Walmart and you can't look great shopping at Walmart, but you have decided that if you can't have what you really want, this all, then you're going to have nothing. If you can't, figure out how to get dressed and look amazing 7 days a week, then you're not even going to bother to get dressed and look amazing 1 day a week. This all or nothing thinking really holds you back because you often don't have the energy or the knowledge or the desire to go all in and do all of it. And so you hold back and do none of it. And I recently mentioned to my email list a little all or nothing that I was experiencing in my closet, where I kind of let it get pretty out of control because I don't want to just hang up the things that are maybe draped over a basket or sitting on a chair. I want to be able to do the entire makeover, so to speak, all at one time, the all in the all or nothing thinking. And so instead I do nothing and I just let the piles keep building up until I can go in and really revamp it. When the truth is, if I did even a little bit, if I even hung up the things that needed to be hung up, or I put away the basket of clean laundry that's been sitting on the floor, if I did even just those little things, I wouldn't be doing nothing, and I maybe wouldn't be doing it all, but the middle space there still feels better than where I'm living in the doing nothing space. So the basic idea of all or nothing with regards to wardrobe would be, I want an entire wardrobe makeover. I want to have completely new clothes and totally revamp my style. And until I can do that, I'm just going to wear sweatpants. Like, I'm not going to bother even trying to work with what I have until I can actually do the full makeover. All or nothing thinking. Number 2, the second way that perfectionism might be showing up in your wardrobe is as just a good old-fashioned handbrake. And so Sam Laura Brown talks a lot about the perfectionist handbrake. It is essentially the thing that comes on when all of these different things I'm going to mention are present. I feel like there is a definite handbrake situation with regards to our wardrobe, and it often comes on when we're starting to feel a little bit of momentum. So maybe we have purchased a couple new things and we've worn them and people have commented on them, or we've noticed how different we feel in them. And that feels just uncomfortable enough that we put on the handbrake. We decide, oh, that's a little too scary, I'm going a little too fast, so we yank up that handbrake. And when we do that, sometimes we do sort of this other beautiful perfectionist thing, and that is fall off the wagon, or what we term fall off the wagon. So we yank the brake up so high that we go flying off the wagon, and then we're kind of bruised. Our ego's a little bruised. We thought we had this style thing figured out. We wore the couple new shirts. We got some nice compliments. And then we yanked on the handbrake because it felt too uncomfortable and we fell off the wagon. And then once we're off the wagon and we're in that bruised, tender state, then it takes us a long time and a lot of mental energy and drama to get back on the wagon and to release that handbrake and keep rolling. We have to sort of re-enter the world, like, oh, well, now I have to work up the courage to actually wear a new thing again because I wore a couple things and then it was gaining enough momentum that I felt like I was spinning a little out of control or going a little too fast. And so I yanked on the handbrake and I fell off the other side. And now I'm back into the sweatpants or back into the lazy go-tos. Gay Hendricks wrote a really beautiful book called The Big Leap. And in it, he speaks of the upper limit problem. And so this handbrake is that same idea of being an upper limit problem. And if you're not familiar with the book, I suggest that you read it if any of this resonates, because he has it really dialed in and explains very succinctly that we basically have a thermostat. We have a set point for our lives. He refers to it as a thermostat. And so if let's say with regards to style, your thermostat is wearing, sweatpants every day or loungewear or yoga pants or really grungy jeans and a t-shirt. That's your set point. So let's go with really grungy jeans and or let's go with just casual jeans and a t-shirt. Casual jeans and a t-shirt are your set point. That's where your thermostat is set. If you, for some reason, you maybe are under the weather or there's something going on in your life and for several days in a row, you only wear yoga pants or you only wear sweatpants and kind of a ratty t-shirt, and it's fine for those few days because of whatever's happening in your life, but because your set point is your jeans and a t-shirt, eventually those grungier clothes or those more casual clothes, the yoga pants or the sweatpants, they don't feel like your set point. In the idea of a thermostat, you've gotten a little too chilly or a little too warm. So you now are going to adjust and bring yourself back to the place where it feels the most normal for you, where your set point is. So once you've realized, God, I've been in sweatpants for days, or I've worn yoga clothes for the last 6 days, I need my jeans and my t-shirt. I want to feel like me again. So I'm going to bring myself back up to that set point. I'm going to, be in that area where I know. I'm going to release the handbrake enough that I can move at the pace that I'm comfortable in. Same idea, different analogy. And I'm going to wear the jeans and the t-shirt. The same is true if you decide to elevate your style and you're now going to wear nicer jeans and cuter tops for several days in a row. By the time you get to the 5th, 6th, 4th, 3rd, whatever day it is for you, 10th, 2 weeks, whatever, your thermostat, you're uncomfortable. You're either way too hot or way too cold, depending on how you want to play it. Or in the sense of the handbrake, you're rolling way too fast. So that set point, your brain knows this isn't safe, this isn't comfortable, I'm too hot, I'm too cold. I'm going to bring you back to your set point. So you've been wearing these really cute outfits, I'm going to bring you right back to the jeans and the t-shirt because that's where you're most comfortable. It's not comfortable to be too warm or too cold. So when we get to a place where we're rolling too fast, we yank that handbrake on. And then when we've been sitting a little too long with regards to this wardrobe situation, when we've been sitting a little too long, we decide, okay, I can ease the handbrake down a little bit. It's all a matter of bringing ourselves back to the normal, to the set point that we view as normal. And to do the work of elevating your wardrobe, you need to come up with a new normal, and you need to practice that new normal enough that it becomes commonplace for you. And it doesn't feel like a change in temperature. It doesn't feel like something that you need to regulate back to the old normal. You're now going to set the new normal and then adjust the thermostat accordingly, because now you don't want the house to be at 63 anymore. Now you want it to be at 73. So if it gets to 83, you're going to do something. And if it gets to, 68, you're going to do something. But at 73, you can remain comfortable. So the 73 is similar to a great top and a pair of jeans and a belt and a pair of shoes. That's more elevated than where you were before with just the kind of old comfortable jeans and a plain t-shirt. And I'm just using these as examples of how we decide what's normal for us. And in the sense of the handbrake, as well as the idea from Gay Hendricks' book, The Big Leap, of your upper limit problem, we decide what is the set point. And then if we start to roll too fast out of control, we yank the handbrake on, or we adjust the thermostat so that we can get back to the place where we feel safest. And when you're changing your style, it is going to feel unsafe. As foolish as that seems, given that it's just clothing, your brain wants to keep you in a space that feels comfortable and secure and not dangerous. And so even changing what you're wearing can send your brain into a little bit of a freak out, which makes it pull on the handbrake. And number 3 is people pleasing. One of the ways that perfectionism can show up in your wardrobe is by trying to please others way more than you're trying to please yourself. So that can be that you're wearing things that people are buying you or giving you that you don't actually love. I am always surprised at how common this situation is, where women have things, when we do a closet edit, women have many things in their closet that were given to them by a well-meaning sister or by their mom or by, a neighbor or a best friend that aren't really their style. They might not even fit them. I have been in many closets where the shape and the size is actually not at all what my client would need or would wear, and yet they've been given to them as, oh, well, I think you'd like this, or you'd look good in this. And usually from the other person's wardrobe. It's not that they were gifts, it's that the other person was clearing out their wardrobe and decided that this person should be the recipient of all this great stuff. And it's not that it maybe isn't great stuff, it's just that it's not great for the person who now has it in her wardrobe, who has to figure out if she should be wearing it or not. So that is one way that people pleasing shows up. So pay attention if you have things in your closet that were given to you either as gifts or as hand-me-downs that you are not really loving, and yet you keep wearing them, or you just keep hanging on to them even though they're not really your style. It can be the same with regards to going into a store and having a salesperson tell you how amazing something looks so you feel like you really need to buy it. I used to see at Anthropology regularly people would want to return things, and they would call to see if the person who sold it to them was working that day so that they wouldn't have to face the person or face the guilt of returning something that they purchased because someone said that they thought that they should have it and it looked amazing on them, even though in their heart of hearts they didn't agree. So people pleasing can show up in a lot of different ways, but the person you should be pleasing when it comes to getting dressed is yourself, and really only yourself. Another way I see this show up is when clients have work situations or friends or family situations where they want to be more elevated and dress a little bit nicer than the people they usually hang out with. And they have this terrible guilt, and they have been made to feel, well, no one can make us feel anything, but people have mentioned to them things that then create feelings in my client of, I should probably dumb it down a little. I'm making these people uncomfortable, and I have more money to spend. I might have a higher, they might have a higher discretionary income available to spend on clothing. So they feel guilty if they're showing up at work or showing up at a neighborhood block party in something nicer because they can afford it, but maybe the other people can't. I have countless clients who, in their family of origin or the family that they hang out with, that the family members don't really dress up. The family members maybe don't like their body, don't like style, don't like, themselves very much. And so my client wants to show up as her fullest, most authentic self in the outfit she wants to rock on that given day. And there's this hesitation and this kind of conflict and friction because she doesn't want to show up in a space where other people are going to be possibly uncomfortable by what she is wearing. And I'm not talking ball gowns versus like cut off shorts and a tank top. It's just a matter of showing up as the fullest expression of you, feeling amazing in your clothing when other people aren't there. And that's a form of people pleasing. You are deciding that what they think about what you're wearing is more important than what you think about what you're wearing. And you have every right to dress however you want to in any circle within reason. Obviously, if you are working in a volunteer situation with very underprivileged people and you are showing up in Chanel and Armani and Gucci, certainly, use your discretion and be aware and compassionate and conscientious about the circumstance that you're going into. But I'm not talking about those situations here. I am talking about situations with people who may or may not decide style is important to them, who are then putting that on you, and you are taking it and you are trying to please them by wearing something different than what you really want to wear. The other way that people pleasing shows up is by following rules and following trends. You decide you're going to wear what's on trend because those people have decided that that's what you should be wearing this season, even though you really don't like that, whatever that is. It can also be that you're following very outdated rules, no white pants after Labor Day, or no white shoes after Labor Day, or only being able to wear a certain kind of denim because that's what's in, or not wearing horizontal stripes if you're busty. That is pleasing someone who came up with those arbitrary, very outdated rules instead of pleasing yourself. And as a perfectionist, we tend to want others to be good. We tend to want to please others. It makes us look more perfect. And specifically with regards to what you're wearing, you should be pleasing yourself. And the next perfectionistic tendency, I was having some trouble with that one, had to edit those out. And the next perfectionistic tendency, number 4, is overwhelm. So perfectionists do tend to get overwhelmed a lot because we have just too much happening in our brains. We have too many ideas. We have too much of this sense of handbrake on. We have too much all or nothing thinking. We have too much people pleasing. And all of that can lead to overwhelm collectively, or overwhelm can exist all by itself. Overwhelm can exist in you just keep buying more things and putting them in your closet, and your closet's a mess. You couldn't find any of the things you really have in there that you like, even if you wanted to. You are overwhelmed by the idea of really getting clear on what your style is and then figuring out how to make your wardrobe support that. So you don't do anything, you just stay overwhelmed. You walk into your closet, you never really know what to wear, so you resort to the lazy go-tos. And that all feels overwhelming and it keeps you stuck. It doesn't allow you to grow any self-trust with regards to your style, because there's always this sense of it's way too big. There's no way I could clean out my closet. There's no way I could know what to edit out. There's no way I could know what to buy. There's no way I could know how to put together an outfit. It's just all overwhelming. There's no way I could know where to shop. I hear that all the time. If I could just figure out where to buy things, all my problems would be solved. All of that overwhelm is fixable, but you have to notice first that that's what's happening. And number 6 is procrastination, which is a huge perfectionistic tendency. And procrastination tends to show up as kind of procrasta blank. It could be procrasta shopping, where you just keep shopping for pieces and either buying pieces and bringing them home, or shopping for pieces and never quite finding it. I did this procrasta shopping with a pair of tall brown boots for several years, more years than I care to admit, because I was sure I would find the perfect pair of brown boots. Finally, I sort of realized how ridiculous it was that I wasn't just picking a pair of brown boots and enjoying them. And once I did that, it was game changing. I realized that the search for these perfect brown boots could have gone on for 2 decades and I would have still had no brown boots to wear. And by just deciding which pair is good enough, let's just do this, stop procrasta shopping, where I kept looking for the perfect brown boots but never was making a decision. This idea of procrastination really keeps you stuck in your style. It could be procrasta organizing your closet. It could be procrastinating in any other area. It can be procrasta cleaning up your house, procrasta researching and being influenced by other people and taking copious notes and filling out, big full Pinterest boards of the style you're going to have one day, but you're procrastinating. You're not actually taking much action towards the result that you want. You are just doing lots of busy work to feel like you're doing something, whether it's pinning lots of things, whether it's going to the mall and looking at lots of things, whether it's buying and returning lots of things. You are just staying busy, procrastinating, and not actually doing anything that's going to get you to the end result that you're wanting. And the 6th way is probably same as back to the first one, the all or nothing. The 6th one is really probably the one that shows up the most in my life and has since I was a child, since way before I ever understood that perfectionism was part of my game plan, and that is protecting your potential. And this one it's just kind of heartbreaking how the brain works and how specifically in a perfectionist mind, we decide that if we don't do anything, we have protected our potential because we haven't done something and failed. And so with regards to style, I see this show up a lot. Women want to change something in their wardrobe and they might go to lots of lengths to get close to that. They buy the new pieces. They, as I said, make the Pinterest boards. They follow the influencers. They talk to their friends about it. They maybe buy magazines still. And they are really kind of on the edge. They're moving closer to actually creating a style and a wardrobe that would support their life, that would light them up. But they hold back. They hold back because what if I've done all of this and I go all in and it doesn't work? Then I have proven that I suck, essentially. I have proven that I can't ever have any style and that this is hopeless. So instead, I'm going to do some things and at the same time, I'm going to protect my potential. If I had gone all in, I would have, I would have the best wardrobe ever, but I didn't go all in. So of course, that's why it didn't work out. It's similar, and I know that this showed up for me a lot, and it does seem to for a lot of perfectionists back when I was in school and was studying for things or doing projects. This idea of protecting your potential often flares up there, where you study, but you don't give it your all, like all in. I'm going to study like as hard as I can, and I'm going to know this information inside and out. So you study, and then you get whatever grade you get, but you've protected your potential. Well, if I studied harder, I would have gotten an A. If I, had not stayed up so late the night before and I had gotten a good night's sleep, I would have done better in the race. Like whatever those things are that allow us to hold on to this idea that we could have done it really well, but we're going to hold back so that we can protect that potential, so that no one ever knows, including us, whether or not it would have worked as well as we have it set out in our mind that it would work. And with the wardrobe, this shows up all the time. Once I decide to actually get dressed and wear my clothing, I am going to be the most stylish woman I know, but I'm going to hold back because I'm not 100% sure that that's happening yet. Like I can't guarantee that for myself. So I'm just going to protect my potential, because if I do something and it doesn't work out as well as I think, then, if I go all in and it doesn't work out as well as I think, then I'm a failure, then I suck. And that's so not true. And the only way to get better is to forget that potential and start working towards just trying something different that ultimately will get you to the result you want. But that constant holding back and protecting the potential of, well, what would happen if I actually went all in? Then I would be a success. I would have a wardrobe that I love. It really just keeps us stuck. And one of the examples that I shared with someone recently in my own life is the gua sha stone, and or facial yoga or facial massage, self-massage for the face for wrinkles. So, I have a gua sha stone. I've watched countless videos on facial massage, and I understand about face yoga and, stretches you can do to firm up your face, and I'm not doing them. And so there's a sense of protecting my potential. If I don't ever take the gua sha stone out of the box, then it can't not work. It isn't working. Obviously, I understand that, but it's like, I can't be disappointed with the results that I get from the gua sha stone if I don't ever take it out of the drawer. So I protect the potential for me to have fewer wrinkles by not ever trying. So it's a weird, twisted way of thinking. And yet, if any of this resonates with you, you know what I mean. I did not know I was a perfectionist for most of my life. This is brand new in the last few years. And it is so eye-opening and so mind-blowing to me how this works. And now that I see it, I can work around it. And that's the beautiful thing. You don't have to stop being a perfectionist. I'm probably never going to not be a perfectionist. And that's not the goal. The goal is to allow the perfectionism that is in place to work for me instead of against me. And so once you can see how it's maybe showing up in your wardrobe, you can begin to change it. So now let's talk about how to change it. So is there one of these that resonates the most with you? Like, is there one that really, when you hear me talk about it, you think, oh my gosh, that's so me. She is in my head. She is talking right to me. I know that there are several that feel that way for me. So there is nothing wrong with that. It's just a matter of once you see it, you can begin to work with it. And so the style self-trust that I talk about on here often, if you're a perfectionist, it's extra hard to gain that style self-trust that would allow you to just get dressed and get on with your life and look and feel amazing, because you're so stuck in this idea of, what if I mess it up? What if I do it wrong? I am ashamed that I don't already have this all figured out, so I don't want to take any steps to try to get it figured out, because what if I fail along the way? That's going to be too uncomfortable. I'm not willing to risk that. And style self-trust grows quickly, but you have to take some action. You have to do something to get the ball rolling, because once you start to see even the tiniest success, you realize, oh, I get it now. Holding back was never going to get me there. I'm never going to have the relationship with clothing and with my wardrobe and style that I want if I don't ever feel brave enough to take any action. And so there needs to be a little bit of courage, and it can be just blind faith. Like, I'm going to do what Kristen says, and I'm going to plow through and see what happens. And my guess is, from my work with clients, I have seen it enough that I believe that you would take a few steps and take a few actions, and on the other side, you would feel a swell of style self-trust. Like, you would feel that start to grow. And you'll be so proud of yourself that you'll think, okay, what's next? Like, let me take the next step. I can do this. This is actually, it's actually not that hard. When we are thinking that the destination, the result that we want to create is so far off in the future, and so many steps and so many struggles ahead, we do nothing. We hold back because we think, well, are you kidding? To get all the way over there, that's going to be impossible. I might as well not even try. But the reality is, once we take 1 or 2 steps forward and we do 1 or 2 things that are a little out of our comfort zone and a little out of our norm, there's support that rushes in just energetically, in the sense that we find the top that we've been wishing we could have to go with those jeans and that shirt and that blazer. It appears, and it sounds ridiculous, but I've seen it happen so many times that I know it's true. The universe needs some sort of a signal that we're ready to try something different. And once we decide that we're ready to try something different, things start to fall into place. So now I just want to share how to begin moving past your perfectionism when it comes to your style. So the very first thing to do is to face your closet. And this is similar to facing your finances. If you're someone who has struggled with finances and with money and with lack and scarcity, and looking at your bills, looking at your financial statements has been triggering and difficult. And I speak to that because I have been there. This facing your closet is similar to that idea of facing your finances. If you are not actually paying attention and really looking at what is the situation with your style and your wardrobe and your closet, you can't begin to fix it. And so the very first thing that I suggest is to really face your closet. Get in there and allow whatever the feelings are to come up. And if it's a walk-in closet, physically get in there. And if it is just a closet, that the doors open up, and you can stand in front of it, do that. If it's a railing in your bedroom, stand in front of that. Whatever your closet space is, get in there and just be there. Look around. You can even take in a notepad. I'm a big journaler. Take in a notepad and a pen and be still in there for a few minutes and really feel what comes up and write it down. I feel overwhelmed. I feel frustrated. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel inferior. I feel whatever comes up, whatever feelings you feel when you are in that space, write them down, get them out, allow them to start to move around. Once you know how your closet makes you feel, how your wardrobe makes you feel, you can begin to shift it. You can begin to change it, but you have to have the awareness first. And so often, with regards to perfectionism and this idea that we can't take any action unless it's going to be perfect action, we don't even face our closet. We're wearing the same things over and over again from the chair in our bedroom, and we haven't been in our closet maybe in 4 months because it's overwhelming and it's messy and we can't find anything, and we're ashamed of all the tags that are still hanging on things we never wear, or we're ashamed that the clothing in there doesn't fit our today body. Whatever the case is, get in the closet and feel the feelings. Allow whatever comes up to come up and write it down and accept it. Be okay with it. Welcome it, because that is the first step to getting to a place where you have a fabulous functional wardrobe that lights you up. And in this exercise of this first step of facing your closet, once you've really just allowed whatever comes up to come up and you've journaled on it, maybe it's even a different day, get in there and remove anything that is an absolute no. Anything that doesn't fit your today body. That doesn't mean you have to get rid of it permanently, but get it out of your closet space so that your brain isn't having to reconcile, oh, that doesn't fit. And then all the guilt and the thoughts and the stuff that comes up around that. If a piece doesn't fit, get it out. Put it in a different space, box it up, put it in your basement, whatever you need to do, put it at a friend's house. It may or may not fit in the future. It doesn't matter. Your today body deserves to be clothed in clothing that fits you today. So anything that doesn't fit, get it out. Anything that is torn, stained, ripped beyond repair, either decide you're going to repair it. Well, I said beyond repair. So if it's repairable, repair it. But if it is torn, stained, ripped beyond repair, get it out. Anything that you are absolutely never going to wear again, it itches so much that you break out into a rash. You absolutely can't stand it because your mother-in-law gave it to you. Pieces that you are definitely not going to wear. These are the easy things. This is the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. Anything in that category, get it out of your closet. So everything left in your closet fits your today body and you're fairly sure you could tolerate it, and you're willing to work with it. That's the first step. Face your closet. And the next step is to organize what remains. And so a lot of women have some resistance here because they think, well, I don't like anything that's in my closet. I actually hate my closet space. How could I possibly make it look like a boutique like you've talked about before? I want you to get in there and organize your closet. I want you, regardless of whether you love the closet space, regardless of whether you love the clothing that's hanging in it, I want you to pretend that you do. Fall in love with the space, fall in love with the wardrobe, pretend you're doing it as an assignment, pretend you're in a Nancy Meyers movie and you need to get in there and revamp a closet. Do whatever you need to do to trick your brain into thinking that this closet and these clothes are absolutely incredible. And organize it however you want. There are countless videos. I have some videos on how to organize a closet. Whatever is your pleasure, tidy it up. Make sure that everything is hanging in a pleasing manner, that shoes are put back in pairs, however you store your shoes, that your things are folded up neatly so that it is pleasing to the eye, pleasing to the senses, and it's just a nicer way to start the process of learning how to get dressed and build your style self-trust if you have a space that feels comfortable and calm and as pleasing as possible to the eye. And while you're doing this tidying up, I would offer that you might want to pause and really show some gratitude and recognize which pieces actually do light you up. Notice which colors make you smile. Be thankful for the pieces that you think, oh, I wore that to something and I loved how I looked, or, oh, this sweater kept me warm all winter. Show some gratitude and some appreciation for the things in your wardrobe and start to notice the pieces that you actually do like. Possibly you've written off the entire contents of your closet as complete junk, and yet when you're in there and you're doing this exercise of organizing, you might be surprised how many things, even if you don't love the entire piece, but you love the color, or you don't love the way something fits, but you love the texture of it. Pay attention to those things because you're building the style self-trust muscle by building some gratitude and some appreciation in for clothing. And the next thing, number 3, is decide to wear the better option. And this is where I get some pushback, like, okay, Kristen, I can face my closet and I can even organize it and get rid of the things that don't work, that don't fit or that are stained and torn. But deciding to wear the better option sounds good in theory, but when I go to do it, I get stuck. And so this does not have to be an all or nothing thing. In fact, I suggest it's not an all or nothing thing. Pick one day a week. Every Tuesday, I'm going to get dressed in the better option. The rest of the week, I can wear whatever I want. Whatever day you choose. It could be, you might be someone who wants to do it 3 days a week, or someone who wants to get dressed in the better option more often than not. It doesn't matter what your criteria is, but make the decision that you are going to wear a better option at least one day a week so that you can begin to see what happens when you wear the better option. Because if you're not ever actually wearing the better option, and by the better option, I just mean the sweater that's a little bit cuter, that is cuter, but you never put it on because you reach for the lazy go-tos, or the jeans that actually fit a little bit better, but you always wear the really slouchy ones because they're so comfortable. I'm not saying that the better fitting jeans shouldn't be comfortable, because all of our clothing should be comfortable, but wear the thing that is the slightly elevated better option. You know what those pieces are. Just push yourself to get in them and see how it feels. And the next thing would be to evaluate. You have to get in the better option in order to evaluate. You have to do something different in order to have something to evaluate. Because if you just stay in the lazy go-tos and you keep wearing the 20% of your clothing that you wear 80% of the time, there's nothing to evaluate. You know how that works. You've been doing that for a long time, likely. So evaluate. Once you've started once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week to wear the better option, evaluate. What worked? What didn't work? What would I do differently? Once you've worn an outfit that is a step up, that is a little bit elevated from what you usually wear, take out a piece of paper and a pen, go to your phone on your notes app, and really write down what worked about this outfit, what didn't work about this outfit, what would I do differently? If I were going to recreate this outfit tomorrow or next week, what would I tweak? What would I change so that it would be even better? This evaluation process, again, as perfectionists, we kind of don't want to look at this part because it doesn't allow that protecting our potential. Like, we can't hang back as much because we're really facing what worked, what didn't work, what could I do differently? But the way to build self-trust and unravel that hold that perfectionism has on you is to begin to evaluate, what am I doing and how is it working for me? So evaluate what worked, what didn't work, what would I do differently? And then repeat. It sounds silly. Repeat. They say lather, rinse, repeat. This is exactly that. We tend, again, as perfectionists who are trying to build style self-trust, I say kind of loosely, we tend to try it once and then maybe decide it worked, but then we're not comfortable there. We've moved our thermostat, like we've moved the temperature, and we want our thermostat to bring us right back down to where we belong in our minds. And so we did something and maybe it did work, but we don't want to repeat it because it was really uncomfortable and it felt a little scary. Even though when we evaluate, it actually felt good, we have to challenge ourselves to repeat it, to keep repeating the process, because in repeating the process, we get better at it. It's practice. You are creating a new routine by repeating something over and over again, and pretty soon it becomes your new normal. So once you wear the better option and you evaluate, you need to keep repeating that process and continue to wear the better option and evaluate and repeat. Just keep doing it, because the repeating creates that new groove that becomes your new normal. And then the next thing is track your progress. So this is another way that perfectionists don't actually like to look at that data. We don't want to know if we're messing it up or not. But if you track your progress, you can see how it's going. And there are lots of different ways to do this. You can wear everything in your wardrobe and feel the progress of moving the ribbon, moving the items to the other side of the ribbon. I have a video on wearing everything in your wardrobe, several videos, I think. And the idea is basically you start at one side of your wardrobe and you work your way through. And I tie a ribbon on the rail and then I move the hanger to the other side of the ribbon once I have worn the garment. If you do something like that, you are tracking your progress. You can see literally by looking in your closet exactly what you've worn and what you haven't. You could be someone who maybe journals and is journaling about how it feels to be wearing new things. And in your journaling, you will begin to see, gosh, I felt really good this week and I wore 4 outfits that I actually loved, because you've written it down over the course of the weeks that you've been practicing this new way. So you have proof of your progress. You could be someone who takes a picture of every outfit you wear so that at the end of the month, you have a photographic diary of all the outfits that you wore. And some might be hits and some might be misses, but you have proof that you've tracked your progress. You are tracking the fact that you are getting better at this and you are doing the work to build the style self-trust muscle and to relieve yourself of the perfectionistic tendencies. And the last thing is to celebrate. This is another place that perfectionists get so hung up. We don't like to celebrate because we don't know that we've reached that pinnacle of success that we had in mind when we started. And so we dismiss it and we kind of, downplay anything that feels like it even was a little bit of a success, because our perfectionistic brain says, yeah, but you could have done better. And that's ridiculous. It's absolutely, it is the fact, but it's sad and it's a little ridiculous. So celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. When you've worn a better outfit than you usually wear, even one day a week, at the end of the week, go on a walk and smell the flowers, or go buy yourself some flowers, or sit down outside and read for a few minutes, or make yourself a beautiful smoothie. Whatever you want to do to celebrate. You could buy something new, but I would suggest you wait until you have done some work in this area long enough that it feels like you've gained some understanding of what pieces might be missing from your wardrobe, because I don't want shopping to be something you do that then kind of gets you more hung up and takes you back to the overwhelm from the beginning. So find a way to celebrate. Call your best friend and chat with her, or go for a walk with a friend. Whatever the thing is that feels like you will be acknowledging how far you've come and acknowledging the work that you've done to kind of unwind this hold that perfectionism has on you and begin to build that style self-trust. So the celebration is really one of the most important parts, because it tells your brain, hey, we did something good, we're proud, and it's safe to do it again. It's safe to keep going with this because you did all this work and we're rewarding you. It's the same as with children or with animals. If they do the thing and we don't celebrate them, then why would they want to do it again? And so your brain is kind of the same way. If you don't acknowledge the success that you've had and you don't celebrate it in some way, your brain says, well, why would we want to do this again? Why do we need to do this again? We can just not bother, because she didn't even notice that we went out on a limb here and stretched ourselves so far to wear something different. She didn't even notice, so we don't need to do that again. Celebrate. Celebrate your wins, even if they feel really small and insignificant. Every step towards building style self-trust is a win, honestly. Even if it feels like a fail, even if you feel like you messed it up or it was the strangest outfit you've ever put together, you are still building style self-trust, and you are still releasing that grip that perfectionism has maybe had on your style and your wardrobe for your whole life, because you are pushing it a little bit beyond where you're comfortable. and you are letting perfectionism know it no longer is in control, and you are building that style self-trust muscle so that you can begin to build a wardrobe you actually love wearing and just get on with your life and have getting dressed be easy and fun, and your wardrobe lights you up. Okay, I think that's all I got for today. This is a topic that I could really speak volumes on. It has been such a game changer for me to recognize how perfectionism affects my style and to begin to play with it so that it doesn't affect my style in the same ways anymore. And I can really have fun creating a wardrobe that lights me up, that is really, truly authentic and feels fabulous for the life that I live. And allow the perfectionism to ride right alongside, but not call the shots. If you identify with any of this, I would love to know. I love to read your comments and hear how the things that I talk about resonate and land for you. I say this often, what is most personal is most universal. If one person is feeling it, chances are countless others are, which is part of why I have this channel in the first place, because I want to share not only my own experiences, but the experiences that I have repeatedly with clients, because I believe that we can all benefit from not feeling alone in our struggles and from helping each other celebrate and recognizing that, you know, if a woman we know is looking a little different and elevating her style a little bit, she deserves to be acknowledged for that and noticed for that, because it is not easy work. It's simple, but it's not always easy. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments as always. Let's see, I am on Instagram, so if you're not following me over there already, please come do. I would love that. If you have any style questions, drop them down below. I will happily answer them either in the comments below or in an upcoming video, because a lot of what you guys ask is really pertinent in general, and so I want to make sure that I'm sharing it with the world. And I'll be back next Friday with a new video. I hope that you have a really beautiful week. And if you would like me to help you with your wardrobe one-on-one, style therapy is how we do that. There is a link down below. We can book a consult call if you've got questions and see if it's a good fit for you right now. I would absolutely be honored to help you create a wardrobe you absolutely love wearing, to help you build your own style self-trust, and to unwind perfectionism in your wardrobe if that's a thing that's happening for you. Okay, that's it. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye-bye.